Yate Dine Amasana Nishle. This is Navajo Grandma. And again, this coming month will be June. And I will share that with you since Grandma is busy with the Navajo Nation presidential run. I'm trying to sandwich everything in for you so that I haven't forgotten you, and I worry about all of you. I want you to know that. So here is our lesson for the month, okay, this coming month. This is called basically the June in Dine Bizaad. I hope you can see. It's called Yaish Josh Chile. Now, Yaish Josh Chile, it means small harvest. Now, if you see Grandma's little pictures, the corn is starting to get a little, it's not completely grown. It's starting to pick up. The other plants are starting to get their leaves, and look how pretty. Well, the month of June is named Yaish Josh Chile, which means planting of the early crops, which the big rains came to nourish for the newly planted season. This is also a time when the wild plants that have sustained the Dine for centuries start bearing their fruits. In the olden days, the Dine went out to gather the early crops of the wild, like wild berries and seeds. This was welcomed because the crops which they planted would not yield their fruits for 3 and 4 months. June is Yaish Josh Chile. Now, Yaish Josh, some say Yaish Josh Chil. And see, there's different enunciation in Arizona and in New Mexico. Here, you're saying, I'm bringing in the harvest of the leaves, okay? The small harvest. Yaish Josh, here is the situation. In our side of the Navajo Nation, this would be Chile. Now, these are Chil right here, Chile. But in the Arizona area, they say Chile means small. So, I don't know, Chile, that's a Yaish Josh Chile. For each their own. But that's what, sometimes Grandma needs to explain those type of things to you so that you kind of understand. Because just like I said, in New Mexico, we have grown up with Zas, which is the snow, but in Arizona, they say Yas. Okay, there's that distinction, just the way people talked. Now, I'm going to also show you the 4 seasons, okay? And these, since we are into gardening and all kinds of seasons, and Grandma has explained the different months, here we are, the 4 seasons. Fall is Aked, and then winter is Chay, spring is Dan, and summer is Shi. So fall is Aked, winter is Chay, spring is Dan, summer is Shi. It looks like sh, but it's she. It has a different intonation. That is for summer. So, and Grandma wants to wish all of you a wonderful Memorial Day. I want you to stay safe and be good. And I hope everyone totally makes wonderful memories. And some of you, with my previous video about my grandpa, I needed that more for me than you, because, in this Navajo Nation presidential run, there is so much that you have to understand, to explain with love, with prayer, about the economy, regarding, education, about the veterans who matter so much. And you're talking about all different aspects of the government. And these are things that my grandfather taught, that through love, hope, and charity, through prayer, that we are humble. And that's another reason why I said I don't want a salary. And I said I don't. I don't believe that I should be paid to teach, especially my people, to help further their progress and to help them become truly sovereign. Now, all the Native Americans believe they have sovereignty. They don't. As long as we grovel, as long as we, have our hands out to Congress, to the federal government, no one has true sovereignty. When we stop, when we step back, and we realize our strengths and how we can truly become a nation within a nation. We really aren't yet, until we let go of Congress and the federal government in every way and become independent, and where we are no longer reliant upon the white people. Now, for those who don't believe in God and those who always, kind of get a rash because I mention Christ, or because I have a religion, or that we are Christians. For those who do believe, we are, the Dine people we are a covenant people. If you go look at the fundamental law, and it's called Dine Bizaad, the fundamental laws. There's the customary law, the common law, the traditional law, and there's I believe 4 of them. And so there is it's more of a secular and a spiritual law put together. And so that plays a part in what we're going to do. There is a prophecy that one day we Native American tribes will be able to have our lands returned to us before the second coming of Christ. Now remember, this is for those who have faith and are Christians. I believe that. And here is a start of becoming sovereign. And as we do this, and as Grandma becomes the first female Navajo Nation president, my blessing would be to be an example, work through it, and remember, sometimes the Navajo Nation people are their own stumbling block, and we need to work together. And as we work together and have faith and have trust in a woman for the first time, I'm a female, I'm a mother and a grandma. I am not a politician. I am someone who wants the best for her people. I don't want a salary. I do want a house and a car and gas that they can pay for, because I want to go out to the chapter houses. And what I said I wanted to do with my salary is to give it to whatever chapter I'm going to go to, that it will buy the food, and that we as a whole chapter can come together with the Navajo Nation president, and we can sit down and eat and break bread together, as the white people say, that we eat together, that I listen and love and hug and see the eyes of every one of my constituents and be there for them. There's so many that we don't have a council. We don't have a president to this day for now it's 159 years of this whole hogwash we've been going through since the Long Walk, that I don't know of any president or what used to be called a chairman. I don't remember them coming out and greeting and being and walking among the people. What did Christ do? He walked among the people. He gave compassion. He had a listening ear. And he looked at them, eyeball to eyeball. He knew them. Why not us, with love and compassion, to hear our brother? What are we told? We've heard this. We are our brother's keeper. We are. There is nothing wrong with that. Because that's a part of serving and loving, being a leader among God's children, among us. So with all of that in the chapter houses, I want to visit every chapter. There's 110 chapters. They say 23, but everybody's taking care of that. Everybody's kind of squished it down. But there are 110 chapters in the Navajo Nation. And it's a sad situation where there has been embezzlement and things that are so wrong and so vile and evil that have been cast upon our people from our leaders. And these have been men. Now, I am a woman, I'm a mother, I am a grandmother, and I believe it's time to make a pivot, to heaven, to our Heavenly Father, to make a pivot for true sovereignty. There are many people think it's hard, and it's not going to be, if the people work together and understand the whole concept and to allow it to happen. Again, we become our own worst enemy, and we've got to stop that. We do that in our families. We do that in our own lives. We set our own, we just make our own problems. We need to allow the goodness that we can give or have. So these are things that I want you to know, that it's not easy running for Navajo Nation president, but the joy is learning and hearing and teaching and presenting and knowing that it is possible and no one else has done it. And so the belief is to have faith and that we can accomplish this together. So I'm asking you to pray for the Navajo Nation, that the people will hear Grandma's voice and that she does love them and that it has nothing to do with me, but that I am a servant. I'm a servant not only for God, for our Savior, but I'm a servant, as I've always been, to serve you. And the things that I've asked for, like, your donations, because Grandma has had setbacks, but I know those who have given, and they are the ones that don't have any. I have gone to people who are so wealthy, and they just turn away, and they have their boats, their ranches, they have their mighty, beautiful homes. And to stand there and to explain to them how important it is for what I'm doing, even if they gave me $5, but they couldn't part with that. How sad. I always tell people, you and I don't own anything. When you and I pass and we take our last breath, which one of you can remember who took their car, who took their food, who dragged their favorite bed, their favorite shirt and whatever, and took their bags of money with them? No one. You won't even take one penny. What you take is up here, your mind, the love you spoke, your heart, and how you loved people, and how you served them. That's what you take with them, with you. and your memories. That's why I always tell you, make happy memories, because they become happy thoughts when you are down. That's why I made that video of my grandfather, to help me, to give me strength in times that are right now, in the season of this presidential run. I have called upon you, and there are so few who have answered Grandma's call. But it's okay, because some of us can and some of us can't. I just hope you trust me to know that I'm here, and that my heart is good, and that I so desire to serve, that I have the ability. I always pray for health and strength, that I shall walk and run and not faint, that the angel of death shall pass me by. And I bless you with the same blessing, that we have power over this sickness and the pandemic that has been present, and that we will live and that we will serve, not to be paid, but because we love others. Now, of course, we need money, and we go and work for other companies. We have our own, if you're an entrepreneur, sure, you need that. But when you serve others, that should not be paid. Serving because you love somebody, taking a cake over, taking cookies, or just taking yourself and saying, hi, how are you? Asking someone, sitting and actually listening to them without you having to hear yourself. How wonderful life can be. So Grandma misses you so much. And I've been out here and all over driving and putting posts up. I'm saying I will be all over in Arizona. I will be in parts of New Mexico. And sometimes I feel like saying, oh, I wish I had some of my, if you want to come meet Grandma, no, you don't have to. Just come, and I wish sometimes if you had a truck, or if you had something to help Grandma, I would love that, if it's possible. Now, I'm going to be in the reservation, and you can come on the reservation and help, but I will be putting up signs in Kayenta. I will be putting up signs in Tuba City. I will be going to Flagstaff and backwards to, all across in Gallup, and going up. And I just think that if you can, and then my schedule, I need to let you know, this coming, we're going to have the weekend of fun, and Grandma and Grandpa are going to leave early in the morning, and we're going to start racing down there and to put up the signs. Grandpa's not, he's hard. The reason why I'm asking for help is if you can, okay? Because Grandpa, with his stroke, when you bash that tool, I don't even know what it's called. It has handles, and you bash the fences down, a fence post down. His strength is not there. So I have to bash and bash. And I put the poles in really deep. I can't wait to take them out. I'm going to be there for probably 10 months pulling those things out. But it's okay. And then I have to, use the wire and make sure that my signs are put up and they're steadfast. And then the winds blow, so we put them in a way that, it can have some, it can handle the winds. And sometimes we put wires across in the front, and, I can't afford, putting another fence behind in the middle. So it doesn't matter. We put them up, and it doesn't seem like it's hard work, but for us, we're learning. So Grandma does that, and then I'm going to be in Gallup, I will be in Window Rock meeting with a gentleman, and then that's on Tuesday. Then that's the end of this month. Then actually, you know what? Grandma and Grandpa have been married. We have been married 21 years on the 31st. So wish Grandma and Grandpa, we've been together for 21 years. Kind of scary, but we made it. Then on Tuesday, I will be meeting with this gentleman in Window Rock. That night, I'm going to go to Albuquerque because I have a forum there. It's an educational forum at the embassy and the Hilton Embassy, and that will be from 6 to 8. And then at that point, I will continue backtrack and start putting up signs again. And because there's no hotels out there, Grandma and Grandpa just sit in their chairs. We snore and sleep, wash ourselves down in the morning, and still keep going. It's so funny, I have to tell you. You're going to laugh. We had just woken up, and because we were driving all over, and there's no hotels out in the middle of nowhere, and I had curlers in my hair. And this woman drove up, her and her husband, because they were saying, I guess they were driving, and they said, oh, they were arguing and saying, I don't want to vote for a man, and and the husband was saying, I want to vote for a woman. We got to find a woman to vote for. And there I was at the T-junction, and I was putting up my sign. They came, it was just so cool. And she is the woman who takes care of the casinos in in Farmington for the Navajo Nation. She was just so wonderful, and her husband talked to us, and they said they took another sign to put up in their chapter that was in Red Mesa, and we had such a wonderful time, and it was just so wonderful, and I can't remember their names because I have so many, but I meet wonderful people on the way. And so it was funny. The funny part was that I had slept in the car in my hair and rollers, and I just took them out, and they were all funny. And this woman looked at the sign, and she looked at me, and she goes, well, she looked at the sign, and she said, that doesn't look like you. I said, well, you know what, when I'm cleaned up, you got to remember, we've been driving everywhere, and we look a mess. And she looked at me and the sign, and looked at me and the sign. It was funny. And I said, okay, wait, let me go put some lipstick on, and I'll put my, my things on. And I came back, and she goes, you do look like her. It was hilarious. My hair was all up, and, just still, it hadn't been brushed. Silly things like that happen, but it's fun. So all of these things. Then the last thing on my schedule is on the 3rd, on next Friday, I will be in Farmington, New Mexico, and it's a veterans forum. Oh, I love these people. Oh, I hope I don't cry. These are wonderful, wonderful men who have, our veterans are so precious. And the hardships they have experienced with the Navajo Nation president, and things I've heard, and the research I've done. And it breaks my heart. So I'm going to be at that forum, and it will be, I think, between 6 and 8. And so I think the tickets are $30, but there's 300 tickets that were sold. So good. And I think there's only 7 of the presidential candidates that are there. And I hope it remains that way, so because we get 10 minutes to, give our platform, and then give the veterans, our spiel on how to help them. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to record our presentation. So if we become, whoever becomes Navajo Nation president in 1 year, of course, everybody's making their promises. I don't make promises, I keep them. I mean, I don't make promises because I know what I say is my heart and my word. But they said in the past, People have made promises, and all they've done is they've taken the veterans and used them as their, you know, as their notch in the belt. And people voted for these people. And they said, the veterans said, we're not going to do that anymore. And I love that, because they're going to take a recording. In 1 year, after the person becomes president, they're going to play that and see if they really kept their promise, which is wonderful. I like that. Check and balance. So they're going to do that, and I hope it works out. Otherwise, that's February 3rd, on next Friday. So lots to look forward to. If you want to come, you know, I will be there. You can meet me after. I just love all of you so much. I miss you. Oh, I hate it because I just get so emotional. Do you know I've never met all of you? Some of theirs. I'm going to tell you something. I have never met 2 of these women. They've never met me. And they paid for all 50 of my signs. That just, I can't express to you how humble I am. And then there's Jacqueline Helona, who said, come and let's help Grandma. And she says, Grandma, I love you. These aren't people who live in the mansions, who don't have ranches. They are not the people who have swimming pools in their backyard and who drive amazing cars like I went to, who are not football coaches. I've gone to all of them. And these are people that I went to that were so filthy well, they have so much money. When I would go in their houses or talk with them, I felt like I better not touch anything, you know. You think they gave a penny? No. They make promises. Oh yeah, we'll help you. No one. It's the ones like you who don't have a lot, who are humble. I don't know how many of you have ranches, sprawling ranches or mansions, but the ones who are most humble are the ones who have come to Grandma. I had, you know, Miss D, who took me around, in Canyon de Chelly. And you know, she was incredible. She drove all the way from Chinle to Pueblo Pintado, and she came to my chapter meeting in Pueblo Pintado, and her friend and her daughter came and cooked. They made fry bread and chili, and they brought water. It was incredible. And though, you know, it wasn't prepared as it should have been, even though I, asked way ahead of time. It was sad, but Grandma and Grandpa drove all over to the houses to ask people. But, they had, the puberty rite ceremonies. People were sick. There was, they're afraid to come out and, things like that because of what Nez did, locking down. And so some came out, but we had a wonderful time. And everyone was fed. See, this is what I'm saying. So few come. And I know one of my subscribers left. He unsubscribed because somebody told him that was, that he could give something. And he said, Grandma, I couldn't. So I understand. I pray we don't do that to each other anymore. I don't want to lose any of you because you mean a lot to me And I know what I do for you is so important. So I'm happy that we love one another and we serve each other with kindness, with love, with just do it unconditionally. That's what I wish for more than anything. So, anyways, let me get my composure. And so don't forget, this month is called, before Grandma starts to bawl her eyes out, it's June in Dine Bizaad. It's called Yaish Josh Chile. Yaish Josh means I'm bringing it in. And it means small harvest, the planting of early crops. That's what I learned. And look at these little people, little plants. And I hope you have a garden. And I hope you remember, Grandma loves you. I'm not gonna always be making videos, and I miss that. But know you are prayed for, and you are loved. So I'm going to stop before I fall apart and tell you how much I love you. And if you want to come visit on the road, I welcome that. So that's it. And let's smile. Try to smile. And I love you. Take care. And I will see you soon again. I'm trying to get these videos in so that you can know I'm here still for you. So snip, snap, they say snip, snap, snout. My story's out. Grandma loves you. Sending kisses, sending you all of you hugs. And until we meet and Grandma has her week, busy week this week, pray for me, pray for each other. I love you and stay safe. Have a happy Memorial Day and June. And I will see you later. Love you.